Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today, the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Lost my mind for a second there. We got a great lineup, guys. Andy Lang joining us right off the top. He's got a prop bet, a fight bet for us on the UFC card. He's also got a prop bet for us on Russell Wilson. Steve Merrill sitting in late notice, about 2 minutes of notice. He's got two baseball bets for us, one on the Rays and the Astros and one on the New York Mets against the Angels. We're going to end the show with Carmine Bianco, who's going to look at Club Tijuana against the Vancouver Whitecaps. And he's got a great futures bet in the NFL, one that I absolutely love. So looking forward to that. Let's start the show. Andy Lang, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Oh, not much. We got a big UFC card and PFL card. So a lot of MMA in our future. PFL is tonight. UFC is tomorrow. So a lot of really good bets in. We got a UFC PFL pack that's up. So expect a lot of action over the next, 36 hours in the MMA world.
Andy, lots of controversy at the Olympics with, I don't know the name of the fighter who fought the other person who I don't know, who quit in 40 seconds because she was fighting I don't know. Can we bet on that? Because I'm taking the I don't know against the next opponent if we can.
Not only could we bet on it, some of us got plus 350 on she to win the gold medal. So that was that was a nice little cash in the pocket. Listen, we're here to make money, and they hung that plus 350 out there, and I almost didn't take it because I was like, do they know something? Like, how is this person not going to win the gold medal? So, I have no opinion on the actual controversy itself, but yes, not only could we bet on it, we absolutely could have cashed a nice plus money ticket on that.
Wow, nice. Why don't you text me this stuff, man?
You get a subscription, and I might think about it.
Oh, sure. I'll buy your plays. Andy Lang, everybody. And B Daddy writes, are we talking about the transgender fighter? I actually don't know the answer to that. The press conference yesterday said she wasn't a transgender fighter.
She was born a female, has elevated testosterone. It's a very complicated subject to which I'm not comfortable wading into waters to say one way or the other.
No, me either. I was just pointing out that I just don't know. Let's get into the fight card for Saturday night. Shara Magomedov fighting Mikhail Alexa. Who's going to win this fight?
Kasachek. Yeah. We're going to go with Shara Bullet as his nickname, Shara Bullet Magomedov. He's an interesting fighter, Prez. Why? Because he only has one eye. He got injured in a training incident years ago, and he lost one of his eyes. So the word is that he cannot be cleared to fight in a bunch of states here in the United States. So he only fights in the UFC when they go overseas. So this is in Abu Dhabi, so he gets a chance to fight again. He's fighting Michael Kasachek, who I've had a great read on Kasachek. He's pretty good on the feet, but he is absolutely terrible on the ground. Of his 8 career losses, 7 have come by submission. So I'm going to take Shara Magomedov to win inside the distance. It's minus 115. So if he wins by knockout or submission, we're going to cash this bet. Shara loves his kicks. He loves his front kicks, his leg kicks, his body kicks, his head kicks. This guy throws more kicks in a fight than just about any other UFC fighter. He's going to have the big advantage there. And here's the other thing, Prez. You know how I have some of these weird theories like fade the baby theory and, the OnlyFans theory. Well, I also have a theory where we fade fighters who are pretty open about that they're going to lose this fight. Someone asked him, are you going to sign with another organization if you get cut from the UFC? And he was like, yeah, since I'm probably going to lose this fight, probably going to sign with another organization soon. So I get a fighter who's pretty open about he's not going to do well. He's coming off of a couple losses in a row. The motivation does not seem like it's there. And don't forget, this guy was in an arm bar at UFC 302 not too long ago, and he's having to answering questions if his arm is still broke. He says it's all signs point to Ola Kasachek not doing well. So instead of laying the minus 240, we're going to take Shar Magomedov to win inside the distance. It just doesn't feel like Ola Kasachek wants to be here. And if he gets if he takes a big shot, don't be surprised if he goes down and gets ground and pounded, or if it gets on the ground, probably pretty quick submission here. So we'll just take inside the distance at a really nice minus 115.
Andy Lang joining us, everyone. And Andy, you mentioned kicks. And, well, when I was in Las Vegas at the Old Man Poker Tournament, there were 8,100 people who registered and played in that tournament. And 8,100. And I would say 7,100 of them were wearing Hoka shoes. I did not know anything about Hoka shoes. But I went home and purchased a pair. I bought Bondi 8 is the style of the Hoka shoes that I bought. I have told you guys to buy Viore. Andy, you've bought Viore. I insist you buy Hoka shoes. I have never in my life put on a pair of shoes that feel so good under your feet. They have a cushion this thick, and they roll your feet as you walk. They are spectacular, minus the fact that they look really ridiculous.
I'm ready to buy a new pair of shoes. I recommend the On Cloud, On Cloud shoes. Those are fantastic, but I might have to try the Hoka because my pair of On Clouds is about done. So I'm ready for a new pair. I may give Hoka a shot.
It's not even close, bro. I've tried the Ons. It's actually not even close. Russell Wilson, you like under in passing yards this season, 27.50.5. Some juice there, minus 135. And I mean, this makes sense for so many bloody reasons, especially considering that he might only play one game. Tell us how you handicap this.
That's about it. I'm not sure he's going to play the whole season. They bring in Justin Fields. Like, they're not married to him. He kind of struggled last year. I thought he was better than people gave him credit for, but he still wasn't good. And yeah, this is either going to fly over or fly under. If he plays great, they're going to keep him as a starting quarterback, and he'll go over this total. But if he struggles at all, or gets injured, or gets benched, yeah, he's absolutely going to come under this total. So last year, he did play 15 games, threw for 3,070 yards, but his average completion was the lowest it's ever been in his career, 6.9 yards. And you're just getting a fantastic value that if he comes out of the gates bad, and the Steelers think that they have a competitive team and they need to make a change, and he gets benched, this is going to be the easiest cashed all season. So I certainly don't think they're blown away with him. And if he plays limited snaps, this is an easy under. So yeah, pretty easy breakdown on the under on this one.
And Steve, Andy, I just want to add to that. I think you also have to take into account that only one of those quarterbacks could be Pittsburgh's quarterback of the future, and he's not a 37-year-old who's past his prime. So even if Russell Wilson plays well and the team is losing, I think we're going to see Fields regardless. So many reasons to take that bet. I really, really like it. And, you know, with that said, just to get to that number alone, you got to expect – let's say he plays every game. I mean, he's still going to have to throw over 200 yards. And Pittsburgh's a running team, a team that slows the game down to a crawl. I like every single thing about that bet. Nicely done, well found. What do you have to promote?
Well, the promotion that's going on right now is absolutely fantastic. Buy 2 months and you get August free. We have a really, really big long-term outlook on our units. We're plus 111 the last 365 days. we're number one in July, plus 33 units of profit. So we're doing great short term and doing great long term. And we're coming into the really, really nice teeth of the schedule where we got NFL starting. We're going to have NBA, NHL, and the dog days of summer have been absolutely fantastic for us. So take advantage of that. PFL and UFC goes tonight. So if you lock in the plays now, you're going to get all of those plays for the weekend. So don't waste any time, because each day that ticks by in August, you're losing days of plays with that. So you get 2 months and you get August for free. Absolute no-brainer for the sports that we're in.
Terrific stuff. Andy Lang, everybody. Guys, if you like what you're hearing, take a second out of your day and hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. We certainly put a lot of work and effort into what we do. The handicappers who come on the show would appreciate it, and so would I. Monday, it's a holiday in Canada. I will be taking it off. I'm heading up to the cottage. Steve Merrill will be hosting in my spot. Teddy is back full-time next week, but I will be back with Teddy on Tuesday. So no Steve Merrill. Our original guest, the awesome Gianni, has made an appearance. Wonderful to have you here, my friend.
Thanks for having me, brother. Excuse the look. Still, I'm going to shave a little later today, but with the way the stock market has been crashing today and the crypto market has been bouncing up and down, I've just been trading since early in the morning, so haven't had time to get that on yet. And a little steam room after, so those subscribers don't really mind. They care about more what I have to say than how I look.
Yeah, I don't care how you look either, dude. So no
Thank
problem.
you.
But yeah, the crypto market, I mean, all week, Gianni, we had it up to 69. It dropped to 61, went up 4K over a 24-hour period, dropped again. Where do you think the Bitcoin and Ethereum market is going to go in the short term?
It's going to come down. Here's the reason why. The long-term outlook is gold. That's why I have a cold storage sitting right over there, and I have a time buy all the time, because I believe in the long-term success of blockchain. But in the short term, we have to face what's happening. We just reached 35 trillion in debt for the first time ever. We have the highest eviction notices ever. We have the highest credit card debt with the highest interest rate ever. Those cracks are starting to show. People are now further behind on car payments, on their power bills. Like over 60% of Californians are at least 2 months behind on power bill. That's 6 out of 10 people walking around in one of the most populated states in the country. That's not a good sign. When only a few years ago, we were at the highest we had ever saved, where people had savings around 2020, 2021. They had the most they ever had in savings. Now we're back to the most we ever had in debt. Something's going to break, Prez, excuse me. And when that happens, crypto's going to drop, because it's still a risk asset, and all risk assets get sold, because the people that, when they see the market crash, they have to liquidate what's easiest to liquidate. It's not easy to dump real estate. It's not easy to dump gold, but you could get rid of equities quickly. You could get rid of crypto quickly. So once the equities dump, that's what's going to happen. And we're seeing the SPY, the QQQ, they're having 3, 4, 5 days drops. The Qs have dropped since July 12th, have dropped 10%. And no one's even talking about that. Technology is dropping and no one's even talking about that. So yeah, I think things are going to get bad over the next 6 months, Prez, really bad. And that's going to bring crypto down. And I think 2025 is going to be horrific until we get out of it in around 2026, 2027. And right when we think things are going to be great, that's when that 100-year cycle slaps us around 2029. And that's when it's hold on to everything. 2029, 2030, start prepping for it now. I hope I'm wrong, but I've been prepping for it since like last year, just buying a little bit of crypto, a little bit of gold, a little bit of hard assets. And I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it just looks like, come on, we've seen this before. History repeats itself. This happened before in the 1920s. This isn't new.
Gianni, I love talking about this stuff with you. But I will say this. If you watch MSNBC, the economy has never been better.
Never.
I'm very confused.
Yep.
I mean, Joe Scarborough and Rachel Maddow, I mean, these people are, the economy's at an all-time high. Jobs are incredible. Inflation's about to drop. So yeah, put on Fox.
I'm sure they were saying the same
world's-
thing in England when the US dollar overtook the English pound. I'm sure that the over there, the news channels were saying the same thing about how strong the English pound is, while the US dollar was starting to kick its ass.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on before we actually start getting our political thoughts across and then getting lambasted by
I love you.
50% of the population. Toronto Blue Jays, Gausman on the mound. Real live dog tonight. He's pitching lights out of late, and they're playing the Yankees. How do we bet this game?
Yeah, last week I came in, I explained that I've been cold in Major League Baseball, but I have confidence when I zoom out. I know the history, and I believe in the second half we should come back and have a solid second half. So far, so good. We've had more winning days than losing days over the last 7. I'll take it. Last week I gave Toronto, and Teddy was talking about how they've quit. And how am I scared because they're all talking about, has this team given up? The trade deadline? Are they looking towards the future? And I understand that. And Teddy was 100% on point. But what we have to remember is that the point spread and the money line become the great equalizer in sports. And I don't need a bad team to be great. I just need a bad team to win more than the money line reflects. And when you get a dog at plus money every single night, as long as they're 500, you're going to make a ton of money. And over the last 10 games, that's exactly what Toronto's done. They've managed to win 5 of those 10 games. So that's the kind of team I want to look to back in the underdog role. I never want to be laying a price with them, but I want to look for spots to back them. And this is a great spot because the Yankees are returning home off of excruciating road series, back-to-back road series, one in Boston, one against the Phillies. Both of them big names, matter to the Yankees, and they won 5 of 6 games. Now they come back, they relax. It's Toronto. I think Toronto steals game 1. We're getting plus 140 to take a shot. We're going a little further out on the risk curve because Gausman has been hot, and will he regress towards the mean? Time will tell. But I do think at plus 140 or better, we have the best of it. I'll take it.
Gianni the Greek joining us, exclusive handicapper at WagerTalk.com, and a worldly genius. If I may, you're getting a lot of love in the chat room. People are calling you very smart. One person said how handsome you are. Oh no, that was me. No, that was me. Sorry, I
I'll take it.
Misread that. Gianni, we got the Cleveland Guardians playing the Red Sox. Where are we going in this game?
All right. We got the Cleveland Guardians and Baltimore. The Orioles.
Oh, my bad. Even though it's your bad.
You're getting that. So that means there's something with the Red Sox, something with Prez and the Red Sox today. The Red Sox.
Yeah, I'm reading your notes. Okay. I'm reading your notes, genius.
See, I'm lost. There you go. See, there's the mistakes that I continue to make because I'm all over the place. So forgive me. You're absolutely right. I will take full blame. Here's the thing. When we get to the half, I like I've explained on segments and in the steam room, at the break, I look for teams that I think got lucky or unlucky, and teams that I think have gone too many overs or too many unders. And I expect that to progress to the mean. By getting lucky or unlucky, I mean, we can figure that out by runs scored, runs allowed. How many games a team should have won compared to how many they did win. So I look for teams that got very lucky in the first half for spots to fade them, and teams that got unlucky in the first half to actually back them. Same thing with totals. Teams that went way over, I'm looking for unders. And that's exactly what Baltimore's done. They're 21 games above 500 as far as over to unders go. They're going to regress towards the mean. This is a very efficient market, sports betting market. If you look over the last 5,000 baseball sides or totals, you're going to get close to 50-50 as far as over-unders go. Because, again, these are money lines, so it's not going to be as close to 50-50 as a minus 110 sport is. With sides, but the totals are close to that. We never lay more than 120, 125. So it's going to come close to 2,500, 2,500. If you look over the last 5,000 totals, everything progresses towards the mean. So I look to bet under in Baltimore, and I think this is a really good spot because you got a Baltimore, Cleveland starter who's been solid of late. I think I've been rocked of late. Sorry. That's another progression towards the mean. Sorry. I'm looking at the Baltimore starter who's coming off 105 pitches, but the Cleveland starter's coming off getting rocked. 12 earned runs in his last 2. That's unsustainable. Almost like a losing sports bettor who's 90% over his last 20 picks. That's unsustainable. They will regress or progress towards the mean. this Cleveland starter is not as bad as 12 earned runs over the last 2 starts. So you expect it's not going to get worse. It will get better. And I think this is a good spot for an under. Baltimore 9. It was 9.5. So we lost a little bit of value, but I released 3% play on under 9. Cleveland, Baltimore.
Gianni the Greek joining us. Gianni, I'm keeping you here with us for a few more minutes. Have you made any Olympic bets?
Yo, thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to share right now what I have. Yes, I have Spain in women's basketball. Spain, I believe they're playing Serbia, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow. I laid Spain -3.5 and Spain -4. I also went under 138, under 137.5, under 137 in Spain and Serbia. And then I also have ATP. That's the men's side tennis in Washington. And we're on Audrey Rublev against Frances Tiafoe. So we laid up the -200 on Rublev. Little chalky. If it's still around 200, you may want to look at it. If not, pass and look at the Spain bets. But yeah, that's about it so far. The other Olympic we had was the 3-on-3 women's U.S. team to win gold, but I think that's off the board. I bet that a little while ago, but I think that one's off the board.
Any future bets in college or NFL we need to know about?
Yeah, I know I gave last week. I gave 1 or 2 season win totals. Here's what I'll share real quick. Oh, I talked about Boise State, how high we are in Boise State. Here's one. NFL, Dallas Cowboys. Dude, they're betting under 10.5. Like this team, there's so much money that this team will not win 11 games.
Yeah.
That I'm surprised. Usually you'll see some resistance come back the other way when it moves that significantly, but that just wasn't the case. Just like the other day, someone's like, if you could find me -200 or better, I'll take it. At under 10.5. So definitely you want to be looking for props against the Cowboys. Not expected to have a banner season this year. And also in the SEC, Florida win total under 5. Florida season win totals under 5. That's good up to like -125. So should be a tough SEC season for the Florida Gators. And like I said, Boise State everywhere. Boise State to win their conference. Boise State to get to the playoffs at like +700. So little value on Boise State. Probably expect them to go undefeated and will be in the argument for playoffs. I think that's the case. Or did they expand it to more teams, one or the other? You know me, I don't really keep up with that stuff.
They did. They expanded it. Wonderful stuff, Gianni. Thanks for joining us, man. Keep riding and playing that stock market and crypto. Keep betting. We love having you selling your plays over at WagerTalk. Literally as good as it gets. What do you got to promote?
Oh, I got the steam room going off now, probably in like 30 minutes. So if you came on board for today, this weekend, I think you could jump in, or this week. And it's a great time. I'm coming off, like I said, a nice winning 7 days. I will progress towards the mean, which has been profitable over 8 of the last 9 years. And with football, college football coming up, NFL, number 1 in profit last 365 days when you combine NFL and college football. So you may want to get on board for that. And like I said, MMA number 1 in MMA. Got a big UFC card tomorrow already released of 1 or 2 4% plays. Look at the favorite in the main event. Just going to throw that out there because I love Prez and he likes me to share as much as possible before I jump off. Thank you once again for having me on, brother. And best of luck to you this week too.
Brother, you got it, man. Gianni the Greek. Sheesh. Tornado came through the show. Guys, last year I had 1 NFL futures bet, 1, and it was a 5% play, and it won. Yesterday, I put up this year's future bet in the NFL. It is also a 5% play. I actually have 2 futures bets in the NFL for this year, but my 5% play is up right now, and I'm going to tell you flat out, I will not have a stronger play in any sport this year. That's how much I love this NFL futures bet. We don't have games of the year at WagerTalk. We don't move, the one-time 10% play. No. My 5% play is the strongest bet I have made this calendar year. And I cannot foresee a bet that I will make bigger and stronger than my 5% NFL futures bet. It is up. I've written the analysis. All my reasons are there. Please take a moment, head over to WagerTalk and get that play, the strongest bet I have made this calendar year. Carmine Bianco joining us. How are you, my friend?
Well, Prez, I'm doing well. While you were talking to Gianni, I was sweating some Olympic soccer. So
That's all you do.
and it'll still be on. Yeah, man.
All you do is sweat soccer. I played poker with Carm a few nights ago, and I picked my phone up for 1 second to see a text from my daughter, and Carm's like, "You're always on your phone." I'm like, Carm, nobody in the history of the world is on their phone more than you. Nobody. And there's a rumor going around that your wife agrees with me. So you are permanently sweating this stuff.
Yeah, it's morning soccer. It's it's 12:30 now Eastern time. So come on, Japan, they can pull one back against Spain. But Prez, it's been a really good run with totals, and we're going to talk about one of them in the League's Cup. You look at since the Euro started, and we talk about and I've talked about it on previous shows, pivoting away from or making adjustments to the plays that you release to get the best ones out for your clients. And it quickly became apparent that the XG model that I put together is much better. It's 33, 13, and 7 since June 14th. 48.63 units. It's hitting at almost a 72% rate, 71.7. Why would I veer away from it if it's working so well? And this is the game I want to talk about. I want to talk about this game goes Saturday at I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time in Vancouver, Club Tijuana and Vancouver. You look at this one. This is the last game of the group stages. LAFC is in this group as well too. They've already booked their spot into the knockout stages. When they came back from a 2-0 deficit late at home and tied Vancouver, went to penalty kicks, lost the game in penalty kicks, but pick up a point. So now they're on 4 points and they're into the next round. Club Tijuana are in a position here where they played a very good game against LA, but the numbers don't show it. They had 63% possession, or I think 66% possession. A lot of attempts on goal, a lot of shots on goal, but only 0.9 XG created. LA created 4.9 XG. There was 5.8 in that game, and it finished 3-0. This is one where now they're playing a Vancouver team. They have to win in 90 minutes. The way that the League's Cup is set up, after 90 minutes, if the game is tied, it goes to penalty kicks. The team that wins penalties gets 2 points. The team that loses gets 1. If you win it, obviously in regulation time, you get 3 points. They've got to win to leapfrog Vancouver, who are on 2 points at the moment in this final game. Opening up against this Vancouver team is never a good thing. This is a team that 9 of their 10 MLS games at home, the last 9 of the last 10 games at home, they've been scoring goals. Every game of those 9 have had at least 3 goals scored in them. And it's a team that went into LA and probably should have won the game. They had numerous chances to score. They've got a guy playing for them that should be on the U.S. men's national team, Brian White. The guy has 12 goals this season, 16 last year, and then 3 years back, he had 12 goals for this team, and he's not starting for the U.S. team or not even on the bench. They need players that can score, and this is a guy who can score. The flow of this game just tells you that it's going to be an open game because Tijuana is not going to sit back, and that's usually a bad thing when it comes to playing against a team like Vancouver in Vancouver. You look at one last thing. You look at Tijuana. The new Mexican season, the Apertura, started about a month and a half ago. They played 4 games in there. 3 of the 4 games, they scored goals, 7 to be exact. The one game in which they didn't score, and then they also didn't score against LAFC, were against the 2 teams that I gave you guys futures on last week. LAFC, because they're a good ball possession team normally, and Cruz Azul, who I think at 12-1 to win this tournament, even though They didn't get the win last time out. They'll make it into the knockout stages, I'm pretty sure. Playing against those teams is always tough. So I think 3 is very attainable in this game. I'm pretty sure we're going to see at least 4 goals in this game.
Carmine Bianco, everybody. Real quick shout out to Nelson and Jeffrey. Both of you just within the last 30 seconds purchased my 5% NFL futures bet. Thank you. You will not regret it. Guys, we're going to talk some NFL with Carmen. I want to tell you guys, and this is one of those weird things, where it's like first impressions last forever kind of a thing. Everybody knows Carmine as a soccer bettor first and a hockey bettor second, and he's really built his reputation in those sports. Carmine kicked everyone's ass last year in the NFL. He had over 60% win percentage, 68 wins, 45 losses. He made 76.5 units of profit for his clients. Not one single handicapper was better in the NFL than Carm. So with that said, you have a futures bet for us. It is not my 5% play, but I freaking love it. And not only do I freaking love this bet, but I love that it will likely go down to week 18 before you cash it. Tell us.
I'm hoping it doesn't, Prez.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
fair
it cashes well before that. But you have to find whether this is available at your books. DK is obviously one of the most popular ones out there, and they do have it. And it's division wins within your division. The Atlanta Falcons division wins are at 3.5 minus 120, and that is the current and updated number at Showtime. And this is one of those ones where I think Atlanta's the best team in that division. It's going to obviously it's going to be tight because you always have Tampa. I think it's a down year for the New Orleans Saints. It's definitely a down year for the Carolina Panthers. So how do you get there? Well, you get there by sweeping the Panthers. You get there by at least splitting the other 2 games against Tampa and New Orleans. You look at it, even the division wins, New Orleans, Tampa, both at 7.5. Carolina's at 5.5. Atlanta's at 9.5. But putting that aside, Atlanta has the easiest strength of schedule this year. You look at it, and sure, out of the gate they play Pittsburgh, and a game in which they should win. That has no bearing on this play. But then they play the Eagles and the Chiefs, 2 very tough teams to play. But after that, weeks 4 through 6, Prez, they play the Saints, Tampa, and Carolina. A sweep of those games, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's favorable for them in the sense of September 29th, they play the Saints at home. You want to be playing at home. They play Tampa Bay 5 days later or 4 days later in prime time, and Tampa's going to be coming off a game against the Eagles. So it's not as if they've got an easy one before that. And then they play on 10 days rest, 10 days between games. They're at Carolina. This is one in which I think they could run the board in those 3 games. After that, they get the Bucks on October 27th at Tampa. 7 days rest or 7 days in between games, the Saints, and then they finish off with the Panthers. Falcons fans remember them needing a win last year, and I think it was against the Panthers on the final week of the season, and they didn't get it. So this is why I do not want to wait till the end of the season, Prez. But this is a team where if you look at their progression, 1-5, 2-4, 2-4, these are division records, 3-3 last year. You have to go back to 2019, the Matt Ryan years, when they went 4-2 inside the division. But I think they're a better team this year. Raheem Morris, new coach, they love this guy. He's a player's coach. Whether they play for him or not, we'll need to see. He was a defensive coordinator for the last 3 years for LA. Let's hope they're better defensively than the numbers were for when he was a defensive coordinator the last 3 years. But they can get the 4 wins here. I'm sure they're going to get the 4 wins. And at minus 120, it's going to be a client play that's loaded today.
Yeah, and Carm, they're favored to win the division. They're minus 120 to win the division. So clearly the bookmakers believe that this is the best team in that division. And in order for that to happen, they really do need to go at least 4-2 inside their division. And they are loaded on offense. And I'm a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I consider him one of the most underrated quarterbacks ever, frankly, especially after watching that show Quarterback.
Let me ask you, were you confused in the offseason? They pick up Cousins and then they draft Penix Jr.?
No, and I'll tell you why,
it's such an odd move, but
I'll tell you why. It was the same odd move when Green Bay drafted Jordan Love. The bottom line is that these quarterbacks that are being thrown to the wolves in their first as a rookie ultimately don't make it. Now, some do. Stroud, Richardson, there are, quarterbacks that, in their rookie season go out and kick ass. But on a whole, where would Sam Darnold be if he sat behind somebody for 2 years and learned the system? Okay, maybe he still would be nowhere, but on and on and on. I mean, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre. Steve Young sat behind Montana. Kirk Cousins is signed for 4 years, but only 2 years guaranteed. I think it's a very shrewd move if they love Penix, and it forces Penix to sit on the bench without the controversy. The longer these rookie quarterbacks can sit and learn, ultimately the better their career is. I am not against that move at all. You were about to say?
And let's not forget, Houston, Deshaun Watson sat on the bench, and was it 2 or 3 games into the season, the starting quarterback goes down. He comes in and it just lights a fire under that team.
Yeah. So I've got no problem with it, because quarterback of the future is your future. I mean, you don't have a future without a quarterback that is at the top of his game. And now and Kirk Cousins feels like a guy that will mentor someone very well. He's extremely intelligent, very prepared. So I think it'll actually end up being a good move. Carmine Bianco, what do you got to promote?
NFL futures, some NFL futures I mentioned. I have 3 other division win totals, and they're going to go up at the end of this show. So the Atlanta one will be the 4th one, and you guys got that one for free. And then Leagues Cup for tomorrow and the weekend. All weekend plays are going up. Quiet day today, pretty much overall. One MLB play posted a little later on. Just trying to keep a good run going, Prez. 16-5-2, 76% run right now over at WagerTalk with my plays. Beautiful. And kind of like what Gianni says, Gianni says, the law of large numbers. When a guy's on a huge run and he's like an 80-90%, it's going to trend downwards. But let's try and keep this run going as long as we can before the law of large numbers
takes
effect.
Yeah, Carmine Bianco, fun show. Thanks, my brother. Boss 429 writes, I'm 10 minutes behind on the show. I love hearing Gianni expound upon the economy, crypto, etc. I want to hear more about this. I hope you're reading this, Johnny Detroit. Listen, boss, I'm with you, man. I think we could do a hell of a show between me, Steve Merrill, and Gianni talking about the crypto market, the commodity market, day trading, the stock market. All 3 of us are very learned in this topic. We do very well in our own portfolio. But with that said, all it's going to do is get us in more trouble than not. I don't think anything positive will come out of it other than it'll be good entertainment and good information. But man, we sell picks for a living. And when they lose, we get abused. I don't want to be getting abused for recommending crypto and stocks and pork bellies or whatnot. It's too much. But yes, I also love hearing Gianni discuss that. Guys, thanks for watching the show. It was a pleasure hosting this all week by myself. Shout out to Gianni, Andy Lang, and Carmine as my guests. Teddy and Steve Merrill will be hosting on Monday. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend.